This episode of the Nerf Herder Council is brought to you by Audible. Visit audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download.
I'm Kevin Thompson. I'm Chubray from Return of the Jedi. You're listening to the Nerf Herder Council.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking Nerf herder.
You can't use that word. Only we can use that word.
You're tuned in to the Nerf Herder Council, your source for Star Wars opinion, conversation, and debate. Featuring your hosts, JT, Star Wars. It's freaking Star Wars. Like, what, she gonna go to a fucking Jedi library or something? AJ.
Yeah, Rebels is a lot like our show, where we think we have a good idea and then it just fails in execution.
Steve.
Show me on the doll where the last Jedi touched you.
On this throwback-length episode of the Nerf Herder Council, we give our in-depth review of Star Wars Celebration Chicago. And how cool is it that we got an actual Ewok to do a bumper for the show?
This is the Nerf Herder Council.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I am your host, JT. With me are AJ and Steve. And AJ and I, we back from Star Wars Celebration, and we both got the dreaded malaise that is, well, not really malaise. What's the word? Con crud. So malaise, whatever. We're slightly stuffy because of the damn germs floating around from 80 to 100,000 fellow Star Wars fans going elbow to elbow for a week.
Yeah, if you hear me coughing off mic tonight, that's why I got the dreaded convention cough.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we were at Star Wars Celebration, as we said on the last episode, and we rolled in last Tuesday, and we got back this Tuesday, 2 days ago. So we were in Chicago for, the better part of 7 days, which was pretty cool. And I'm sure everybody by now has seen all the highlights of it online and whatnot, and the different panels, and obviously the episode 9 reveal and stuff like that. So we figured we would go over our personal celebration highlights. We can get one out of the way right now. We did a little bit of drinking.
The first post that was made from quote unquote Star Wars Celebration was, "Hey, look at this pizza I found." I'm like, really wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, there were only 2 nights that were really completely off the rails. I mean, the rest was just mostly like social drinking, but we attended Forcella 2 at Brando's Speakeasy. I did the karaoke competition, and my voice was absolutely blown. So I was lucky to almost make the finals, but my voice was so scratchy I couldn't sing for nothing.
You never had a prayer anyway, though.
No.
You came up against some seriously fierce competition.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the quality was that good at Star Wars Celebration.
It was really good. If I could have sang my go-to songs, I think it might have been different, but I couldn't. And when you're basically so drunk that you're hacking up Summer of '69, a song that you've sang probably 1,000 times, then yeah, I'd say that the odds kind of went down. But in our defense,
I texted you. I was like, dude, you needed to have that Weird Al song in your back pocket.
I know, and I didn't.
So you could have shilled to the crowd, and it would have gave you bonus points.
Yeah,
the winner sang Whitney Houston, though. I mean, you just can't compete.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, basically what happened was we rolled in. The thing started at 8, and we got there at 6 to make sure we had a spot, which was a good thing. And we started, having some drinks. We're like, man, we need some food. And then promptly found out that the place didn't offer food.
Ooh.
So it kind of just became, well, beer fills you up.
Yep.
and it filled us up that night.
Get your calories any way you can find them.
Yeah, and
I order dark beer. You got to chew on that crap anyways on the way down.
Right.
Ugh.
I swear that I was probably still feeling it the next morning, which led to the shopping spree that I went on Thursday, which when I look back at the total on Friday, I went, dear God almighty, what did I do?
Okay, so that's a good lead in, actually. As long as we're talking personal celebration experiences, this is the first one that they've had a dedicated shopping day on day one.
Yeah.
How brilliant was that on their part?
Oh boy, did they get their money from me.
Yeah, everybody's all jazzed up on celebration juice. They got fistfuls of cash and no panels to go to.
Yep.
That's great because I mean that was one of the things we all complained about from the last one. Not that I went, but was the fact that by the time you guys had a chance to go to the store, there was like 9 T-shirts and a salt shaker on the damn.
You know what? Since we're talking about merch, why don't we start there? Because the store was way better. I got into the store on Friday about I got in line about 5:45 and I was out by about 7:20.
What he's not telling you is it was 5:45 on Thursday evening that he got in line.
No, the line on Thursday.
That would sound about right, honestly.
The line on Thursday, there were people that literally waited the whole 7 hours to get in. It was crazy.
Jesus. Yeah.
But I went at the end of the day on Friday and they still had everything I wanted.
Like a T-shirt.
Yeah, really. No, I think they were
in line for 16 hours about 2 T-shirts.
I really wonder if they were restocking though, because I can't say for sure that they were. But it seems like more people had more stuff. So unless everybody waited on Thursday and Friday, because I got everything I wanted. I got 2 celebration specific shirts, and I got the Darth Maul hoodie, and I got some stuff for my wife. So, and then the next day, AJ, you did, or it wasn't the next day. I think it was Sunday or was it Monday?
It was Sunday. Yeah,
Sunday.
By Sunday it was pretty well picked through.
Okay, because you did the lightning pass. What was it called? The
light speed lane.
Light speed lane, yeah, where you could reserve a time in the store.
That part was really cool.
Yeah.
Getting that to work was a pain in the ass, but once it was working in the app, then it was cool.
Yeah.
The problem was the app didn't go up until when?
Oh, it was only a few days before.
Yeah, so all the things that were supposed to be done through the app couldn't, and then it crashed for various reasons on various devices all throughout the weekend.
Yeah, that was one of the first tweets I remember seeing them put up on their official thing was, oh, we apologize for the problems with the app. I'm like, already, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know about it until I think maybe Saturday afternoon, and someone said, oh, well, if you just, uninstall it and reinstall it, it fixes it. And it worked, but I was like, damn it, I couldn't get a digital reservation for a couple panels I really wanted to see because it just kept giving me the error. It's like Saturday morning and I would click the reservation thing and it would say, this will be available closer to showtime. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, as a person that's never been to a celebration, just hearing the things from you guys from the past, 4 or 5 of them, I'm not surprised that this stuff doesn't work because Reed Pop really sounds like they do not have their crap together for putting on these events all the time.
I would have to say this one was really smooth in that regard. I didn't find that there were the problems that there were before. I mean,
like they're slowly getting better, so maybe in like another decade they can knock one of these out without any issues.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of complaints about the lotteries for the 4 main panels, but most of the complaints were from people that either didn't get in or their group didn't get in.
Yeah.
So just whining, not really that it was a problem.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, I got into the episode 9 panel and AJ and I got into the Phantom Menace panel. I mean, Steph had a problem because she was part of our group, but she never got the email for the Phantom Menace panel for some reason. And her badge would not attach. She couldn't attach her stuff to her badge. Like it wouldn't recognize her email address.
My girlfriend's son had the same problem. They could never get those 2 linked up.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure that even mattered though, because I didn't have any use for that the entire trip. I don't know what that was supposed to do for you, but it just didn't happen at all. The episode 9 thing is interesting though, because you did not get in with the group code.
No, I got in as an individual because as I mentioned on the last episode, I forgot that I had bought a Thursday pass for my stepson who ended up not going. So I used his pass as a separate entry, and that ended up getting me into the episode 9 panel. So now we can discuss like highlights and stuff, and we can start with the episode 9 panel, and it kind of ties into why things were running more smoothly. because the panel was at 11 in the morning, and thanks to Forcella 2, or no, this was just another night of partying. What was it like?
It's all a blur.
Yeah, we weren't like crazy the night before, but I mean, we were up till at least 3 in the morning, like literally every night except
I noticed
for
that
Monday.
because I would wake up to go to work, and you guys had tweeted like 2 hours ago.
Yeah,
like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Everybody stays up. I mean, it's crazy. And so
the lobby wasn't kicking us out either.
No,
previous celebrations, when the bar closes down there, everyone's kicked out. But it wasn't until actually Sunday night that they started actually forcing people out of the lobby.
Yeah, seriously. So I woke up. I set my alarm for like, I don't know, 8:30 on Friday morning to go to the episode 9 panel, and I hit snooze, and apparently I accidentally hit turn it off, and I roll over to wake up. Yeah,
turn it off.
I rolled over and I blinked, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's 9:45!" So I go running into the shower, running out of the shower. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So I go bolting out of the room, and just walked in. I mean, I was amazed. Yeah, from leaving the hotel to actually getting through security at Wintrust Arena, which is like, I don't know, what, like a 2-minute walk or something. Mm-hmm. It was maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I looked at it. I timed it, actually. It was 19 minutes from you leaving the hotel room and sending me a picture of being in your seat in the arena.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And then the episode 1 panel, I was even later. I woke up at like 10:15. So I was really flying that morning, and I got there like 10 minutes before, and by the time I got in, they had just started rolling the little highlights of episode 1 clip that started the whole thing. So, I mean, the Wintrust Arena thing was really good, and if you wanted to get there a couple hours early, you could, and that's fine, but you were still able to get seats even if you didn't. So, I mean, that part of it alone was great.
Yeah. Yeah, handled much better.
Yeah.
Were you assigned seat from the lottery?
You were assigned a section, and that's why. So
Okay.
it wasn't like, okay, first come first serve. So everyone's queuing up.
So
to
you
try and
knew
get
if
in
you
front.
showed up late, there was still one seat in that section for the episode 9 panel by the time you got there.
And I mean, and I think some people were kind of, being sketchy with it because
Probably.
my section had like 2 seats left, and so I got one of them. Thank God I was a single. So that was cool, but I didn't. I thought it was enough time to where it shouldn't have been as packed as it was. So
I think you got into that episode 9 panel because you used that single code, though.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, we might have made a mistake by registering as a group for every panel.
Yeah,
because it's way harder to seat 3 people than it is to seat just one.
And I
was thinking that after you told me through our text thread that you got it, I was like, damn, I'm like, every celebration you guys should just do singles and split up because you're probably not going to get in the same section.
Right.
And then go see the panel and then just converge at the exit door again, and at least everybody gets to see it.
Yep. But yeah, so I got into that panel, and Steph, you and AJ watched it in the room. You streamed it. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, I am even more pissed off at myself for not going to the 40th anniversary panel in 2017 because the energy in that room was off the charts.
That's exactly what I was going to say. From being in the 20th anniversary Phantom Menace panel, yeah, there's a big difference. You get to see it all through the live stream, but you don't feel it.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear the crowd pops
right
when you're watching it online, but it's nothing like when you're there. I mean, it's like
and speaking
loud.
To go off of that, one problem for people that were sitting at home for the whole thing, whoever ran the audio for their YouTube or any of their streams needs to be fired, because all of the audio sounded like our very first podcast.
Really?
No, it was that quiet on some of the microphones in the arena too.
Because it's like, it was fine if you just watched it on your phone with the phone speaker, but I had like the aux jack plugged into it on a radio, and I had the phone maxed and the radio maxed.
You got to crank it, yeah.
Couldn't hear a damn thing out of it. That's horrible.
I rewatched a bunch of the panels when we got home, and I had the exact same problem. I was like cranking my soundbar. I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah, and there was next to no sound, and the only thing I could think was, damn, whoever's in charge of audio probably has their headphones jacked up, and they think the audio sounds great when it's all at a minuscule level.
Yeah, they don't want to blow people's ears out.
So yeah, that was no bueno. That's probably the worst I've ever had it, because I watch the panels all the time from these things. So
yeah.
The difference I would say is, like, Steve, you ever been to one of the watch parties for like the Cavs playoff games or the Indians, where you're in the stadium, but you're just watching a giant television?
Yeah.
Even that's cooler than being at home and watching it on TV,
I
right?
bet,
And
yeah.
that's imagine that then up to the actual being there of the event. And
right.
Yeah,
Like, that's why even the streaming stages I think are still better than, say, for example, being in your hotel room and watching the live stream.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we watched the closing ceremony from the Star Wars live stage, and it was just cool being around other. I mean that's really part of it. What do you? Oh, that's right. You were. You got.
Yep.
I was
I'm
not.
cooler than you.
I was. Yeah, but I was in episode 9, so I win. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just being elbow to elbow with other fans. You know, I mean, it's really an incredible experience because, I mean, when the surprises are revealed and stuff, and you're cheering with, like, I think Wintrust held, God, it was like 12,000 people or something crazy, 10,000, something like that.
Dude, for a minute feeling of it, I could tell on your personal video when the trailer played, and then Ian McDermott was there, and it was like, because I knew to look for it because you posted it after I had watched the stream, and I remember I was like, something was weird about them putting the red lights on and everything.
Yeah.
And then the stream kind of waited a second, then you saw him off to the side of the stage. I'm like, who the hell? Oh,
yeah.
I thought there was something weird going on there, even as they aired the trailers. I'm like, why did they all leave?
Yeah, why'd they all leave
first?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if you watch the panel, like online now, they actually came back in the front row and were looking up at the screen.
Oh,
so they could all see, but it was very dark. But yeah, I mean,
I could tell on your personal video though, because I knew to look at the stage and watch Ian McDermott walk out. That I was like, you could almost tell like the whole holy S moment that the entire place had right at that moment. Yeah,
it's so obvious what part of the trailer got me the most because I reacted to it the same both times they played it. So I mean,
you were already half turtle from crapping your pants at listening to the laugh, and then he comes out on stage. So.
Oh, well, dude! As soon as I saw Lando flying the Falcon, I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could, I mean, the video that I got, you hear me go, yeah, ah! Like, and then you hear the Emperor laugh. I was like, oh, no way. And then and it was funny because not a lot of people knew that it was Ian McDiarmid when he first came out. Like, if you watch the video, I go,
yeah,
oh, when it wasn't
until the spotlight was on.
when they put him on the side screen.
Okay.
Because the red light came on, they put the spotlight on him, still people were like, what the hell? Like, you hear some murmuring and about, like, I'd say a third of the people were cheering.
All the people up close knew that was about it.
I think that's what it was, because, and then all of a sudden they put him on the screen, and then it was just this explosion, and he waited for everybody to just literally get silent. He goes, roll it again. And then the mic dropped. That was so badass. Like,
you didn't get to see that. You saw him kind of flip the thing forward. I was like, it would have been better if he would have just legitimate mic dropped and thumped the thing on the floor.
And I didn't even see him do the mic thing until I rewatched it. Because, and you had said the mic drop's great. I'm like, oh, I got to rewatch it. I didn't catch that because I was like, holy crap, it's the Emperor. And then holy crap, the Emperor came out and did the Emperor voice. And holy crap, here's Lando again. Like, so I was a little preoccupied. So
speaking of Lando and the Falcon, you see the meme going around of Han Solo
have you seen that
Solo? And he's like, when Lando's like, says something about like, that's my ship.
Lando says, I'm going to get my ship back. And then it shows Han Solo
saying over my dead body.
And then it shows Lando flying the Falcon in the episode 9 trailer smiling.
Yeah, then it's just old Lando from episode 9 flying the Falcon with a Kool-Aid smile.
That was great, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I actually, one of the best parts about the episode 9 panel for me was I ended up sitting next to a 10-year-old kid and his dad. And the 10-year-old kid, like, he asked his dad a question, and I forget what it was, and his dad didn't know, so he turns and he asks me. And I knew. Well, then all of a sudden I was his Star Wars encyclopedia. So this kid was asking me all these questions, and it was just really cool.
And you're just like, shut up, kid. I'm trying to watch the damn thing.
Thankfully, he was quiet. He was quiet during the actual panel, so that was good. But it was just kind of funny before. And the funniest part was they were doing this trivia contest before the panel started, and they were, it was pretty easy stuff, for us. But it's a room
like
full
the
of Star Wars
theater
fans.
things, like before the movie. It's those stupid ones that just from reading.
Yeah, and they go to this guy, and wait a minute, was this before the Jedi Fallen Order one, or was it the episode 9? I'm trying to. Oh no,
well,
it was
for sake of the story, we'll just say it was episode 9.
No, it was the Jedi Fallen Order video game reveal.
Keep it moving.
But basically, what happened was they were doing this trivia contest, and
see, we got him flustered now.
Yeah, this guy gets up there. Never mind. It's just the guy. Okay, it was 2 trivia contests, and the guy Oh, no. It was the same trivia contest. I'm getting all confused from the panels I went to. But basically, this guy gets up there all cocky. And he's like, oh, yeah, and he's acting like he knows everything and he's just being a tool. And, they ask him a question and he's like, oh, yeah. The question was, what did Han say he was going to do with his reward? And the guy's like, oh, like, I'm not going to know that. And he said, buy stuff or something like that. And they were like, no. And they're like, you have to be more detailed than that. And all of a sudden the guy freezes and coughed up some bullcrap answer. And it was wrong. And so he made a total ass of himself in front of the whole panel. I was like, oh, you dummy. You big dummy.
Froze on the spot.
Yep. And then a couple guys later, right before the panel started, they were like, give us your name, where you're from. The guy's like, I'm so-and-so from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And some people started cheering. And I started going, boo! Go Buckeyes! And a few guys turned around like, yeah. And
we're everywhere.
Yeah, seriously.
Ohio travels well.
Yep. And I forget what question they asked, but it was easy, and he missed it. And so as soon as he misses it, I holler out, OH! And you hear like 50 people, IO! And I was like, a Buckeye fan would have got that. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, so the episode 9 panel was just absolutely incredible to be a part of. And it was really fun. They gave us individual the special beanies. It was a beanie with the IX on it, which is really cool. So that was fun. And then the rest of the day, we didn't do any more panels. We kind of just wandered the show floor. So there wasn't really much more to Friday than that for us.
Well, you did send me a picture of bumping into one of our fans.
Oh, that's right. See how I did a secret segue to that. But no, yeah, so that was the day that I actually got a selfie with John Boyega. So that was
every time John
was, yeah.
Every time John was sending me things, I was saving the photos or whatever and putting them on the social media accounts and stuff, trying to do my part from home.
Thank you, because we couldn't get tweets out, man.
And I was just
it took forever.
I took the picture of John and John Boyega, and I was just like, it's always fun bumping into fans of the show with these things.
That was hilarious. That's the tweet of the year, man.
Sorry, Steve, you must have been confused. He's a Finn. He's not a fan.
He's a Finn of the show.
Yeah.
He's a Finn of the show.
Should have worded that differently. Damn it.
No, he literally, like, I was walking around with our buddy Mark from Baltimore, and we were out by the food court, and I looked to my right, and I saw this group of like 25, 30 people, like all clustered around something, and everyone's holding up phones, and I'm like, what the hell's going on over there? So I thought it was just...
I don't know what's going on, but I need to be part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I walked over, and by this time, other people are noticing, so it's like a magnet,
Yeah.
And I look, and I was like, holy crap, it's John Boyega. And all of a sudden, it just became this crush, and he had 2 security guys, and these guys like pushing us back, like, move back, guys, move back. So I ended up basically up against a railing, and I was moving backwards, and he kept moving towards me, and he was literally like, people like, can I have a picture? He's like, he would take their phone, do a selfie, and hand their phone back. If they held out their badge or something to sign, he would sign it. He was doing all this. And he was just about to pass me because I kept, hey, John, is it cool if I get a picture? He was paying no attention. And I'm like, I am not missing this. So I finally, I asked like 5 or 6 times, and I finally just jammed my phone and damn near in his face. I wasn't rude, but I was very much like, oh, you ain't getting past me, dude. Like, I'm not doing this. So I ended up getting a selfie with John Boyega. It was really, really cool. And he was super gracious to everybody and super nice. And it was, that randomly awesome celebration moment that you have sometimes. So that was really, really cool. Our buddy Mark did not get a selfie. He was unfortunately crushed behind us.
Yeah.
But, it was people. People were literally like, just, I almost fell over.
Dude. Yeah.
I almost fell over and like took some people with me because these people were pushing so hard that it's like I had nowhere to go. I literally could not go to my left because there was a metal rail that was part of the queue for the autograph section. So, there was
that's the kind of cool stuff I would miss out on if I was there, because I would see the mass and I'm like, yeah, I'm not screwing around with that stuff. It's not worth it for me.
I would have done the same, but I was so close to him when I first showed up that it was worth it. And I was literally at
like you
most.
said, when there was like 20 people there, you're like, maybe I could sneak in here and do this. And then, you just have to be at the front of the giant World War Z mass of people that are running up.
Yeah.
there.
And that's what happened. Had I heard, like, if there was like this massive, crowd of people and I hear, oh, it's John Boyega, I'd be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
but I was right up front. I was no more than 10 feet from him at any time. So I'm like, well, why not wait? He's coming this way anyway. So, it was totally worth it. And so I got a really cool picture, and I couldn't tell if I was in the picture, so I ducked my head down to try and make sure I was in it. So I have this really jackass look on my face. It's a terrible picture, but at least it's me and John Boyega. So
yeah, I thought it was actually okay.
Well, I do take jackass pictures most of the time. So, so what about you? What is a highlight for you? Because after this,
well, I just went to work on Friday. And, oh, you're talking to AJ. My bad.
Yeah, but you made money while we were spending it.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't worth it. Trust me.
Well, are we moving on to other days yet?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. Because for me, the celebration highlight had to be the Doug Chang panel. The design, what was it called? Designing the prequels or something like that?
Yeah, the art and design of episode 1 or something like that.
And man, that was so great. Like, it was very prepared, obviously, you could tell, but the fact that it wasn't just like the usual, here's a thumbnail sketch that we didn't use, and here's the one that we did, and here's the one in between, so you can see how he was going like really behind the scenes with this stuff and getting like really nerdy about it too. He's talking about like composition and light and shadow and just design theory in general. It was just crazy. So it was really cool to hear him talk about, as one designer to another, knowing he had a room full of nerds, probably a lot of which love to draw.
Yeah, right.
He's like, okay, I can get a little deeper than the general audience that behind the scenes feature
would
just
have. Jamming storyboards in your face for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even all. The best part was it wasn't even all episode 1. Remember, JT, when he showed us a picture of the street lights?
Yeah.
You know where the design of the Slave 1 came from? The street lights in California, right outside of Skywalker Ranch.
Really?
Apparently, there's some really unique design that looks just like the stupid the ship.
So I'm looking at the Lego kit over there on the shelf, trying to imagine it as a street light right now.
All you got to do is off the tail, just have the pole that goes down like that, and you got a street lamp.
Yeah,
that's literally what it was.
Yeah,
I mean, he showed a side by side of the drawing and of the street lamp, and you're like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah, the foot of the ship is the lampshade or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, incredible.
It was cool because like I went with my wife, and the only reason she went to the panel, not celebration itself, but the only reason she went to the panel was because she wanted to see how they were drawn. But I mean, I was like, look, I want to go see this panel. We haven't done it, we've seen the show floor a bunch of times. Let's do something. Let's get off our feet. And she just kind of went along with it. And like the first thing out of her mouth when we stood up was, "That was amazing." I'm like, see, it's really interesting to see how this stuff is done, because she's not really behind the scenes person. But I mean, he started out explaining like how he got started, how he got first hired, and like why, how he draws and where his style comes from. So I mean, it was a really, really, like AJ said, really deep dive, and not just your standard, here's some drawings and here's the pictures from episode 1. It was like why they did it, and the functionality behind it and things like that. And for anybody that wants to watch it, it is available online. So that's one of the ones that's on there in its entirety, and it's absolutely fascinating. It's really, really great stuff.
Highly recommended for any artists or designers, especially because having been to art school and having had assignments where it's like, if you must do at least 100 thumbnail sketches and then do 20 better sketches off of those 100.
Yeah.
And like when he said there was like 283 different designs for this one thing, I'm like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. He literally said, he's like, yeah, we were designing this one thing, and then as you can tell from the number in the bottom, this is the 283rd sketch of it. I was like, holy God. So that was pretty incredible. So the other panel that I went to that was pretty cool was Jedi Fallen Order. So I went to the video game panel, and it was kind of a shock when they revealed who the main actor was, and you're like, holy crap, that's the guy from Shameless and Gotham. It's the guy who plays the Joker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Cameron something, Cam something, whatever.
Yeah, I was kind of laughing about how, the ties. Mark Hamill did the voice for the Joker on the animated series back in the day, and now you got the guy that's the Joker from Gotham doing a Star Wars
Jedi
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it all goes full circle, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, the footage that they showed from that game was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all like cutscene type stuff. But
not that I have any way to play it, but the Vader Immortal thing looks amazing too.
You know what? They had a demo set up there, And it's one of the things I didn't wait in line for because it was a couple hours long. But it's one of those things after you leave Celebration, you're like, damn it, I wish I would have done that.
Yeah.
Because I watched the panel about it and I watched the extended footage.
Yeah, I was watching the panel on it, and I'm trying to justify how much it's going to cost me to buy an Oculus Rift.
I'm doing the same thing.
It was still pretty entertaining, though, because from the outside, you got to watch everybody with the damn headsets and the controllers on, just flailing about in the space.
Yeah. I was waiting for one of the employees to get decked in the mouth or something by accident.
No one ever looks cool with that stuff on.
Yeah.
No.
So, but
that's why if I get one, it's going in the basement, and just nobody's ever going to see me. It's a stupid thing.
Yeah. No, but when I was at the Jedi Fallen Order panel, I actually sat with a married couple, and the husband was from Spain, and the wife was from Germany. So they were, totally English speaking, but you could tell they have a little bit of, an accent. Mm-hmm. But it was like, man, this is exactly what Celebration does. I mean, it's like, it's worldwide. I mean, it was crazy. And they were telling me how excited they were and stuff like that. And so we just had a really long conversation because that one actually got to on time. So
I'm over here like, I can't really justify driving to Chicago. And they're like, let's fly across the globe.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like our buddy Craig who drove down from Quebec.
Yeah.
And
the BSC.
He drove all the way down to
SBC, sorry.
He drove all the way down to Orlando for the last one.
Wow.
And he literally he had to dig himself out of a snowstorm to get started on his journey to end up in palm trees.
Yep.
It's like, okay.
Yep.
It's like 17-hour drive. Sure. Wait a minute. No, 17 is from Cleveland. He must have taken God knows how long.
Yeah, it was a haul, man. He drove a long way.
Let's just drive all the way through an entire country and half of a continent to get there. Let's fly halfway across the world. Why not?
And here we are bitching about flying to Anaheim in 2020.
Right.
But so I mean that was a lot of fun. And going through the show floor was awesome because as usual, you just end up finding stuff that you have to go through it. Excuse me, you have to go through it like a million times. Because if you don't, like, you miss all kinds of things you didn't know were there. So like I ended up buying something really, really cool for my man cave, and it's not Star Wars related, but I just thought, well, this is a nerd item you can't pass up for $85, and it's custom made, but I got an actual replica of the idol from the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark, life size. Nice. And I was like, because I wanted to buy a bust of Han Solo in carbonite, like the face, and it looks exactly like it. And they're like, oh, we don't sell it here. You order it and then we make it and we send it to you. I said, oh, okay. And they said, here's a picture list of our products.
But then you're like, damn, I really want to take something home now, though.
Oh, I had already done that quite enough. Believe me, I had plenty to take home. Getting our crap in the car on the way home was like a really difficult game of Tetris.
The last time I actually went to a convention was one of the horror movie conventions out here, and I felt the same way. I could not find anything. It got to a point towards the end of the night that I'm just like, I have to buy something because I feel obligated to take something home with me right now.
We'll put it this way. After Thursday, every day was a struggle for me to not buy anything because I was like, quote Blazing Saddles, I'd say you've had enough. So, yeah, I was looking at this, as I was looking down the list for the Han Solo bust, I came to the idol, the golden idol from Raiders. I'm like, oh, dude, I already got a poster of Han and Carbonite. I'm getting the damn idol. So I ordered the idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark. So that'll be coming in the mail.
Nice.
And as I was doing that, Steph was buying a remote control BB-8, 2/3 scale. So we now have a BB-8 that we can roll around the apartment, scare the dogs with.
You got a lightsaber.
I did get a lightsaber.
You called it and you got it.
Yep. I said I wanted the green Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker lightsaber, and I have it, and it officially has battle scars.
Yeah, if we get enough, audience interest, I'll be happy to upload the video. There is a lengthy video.
I feel athletic, but when you look back at the video, not that athletic.
No. But boy, those sabers are meant to take a beat.
Yeah, because I've
invested enough into this podcast. I believe I've earned the right to see this.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
What is it? Is it the Force FX one?
Yeah.
Or is it a Black Series?
No, the Black Series is the Force FX, I think.
Is that together now? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same one as
Black Series, but yeah, they have an older one called Force Effects.
Okay, so it's like my Vader one up there then.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And so we had it down in the lobby. Or somebody had lightsabers in the lobby, and of course, go figure, we had some drinks. And someone's like, we need a lightsaber battle. I'm like, I could do that. So I go upstairs. So my lightsaber still works just fine, but when you turn it on, you could see some dents in the plastic and stuff.
It's pretty messed up, yeah.
Yeah, so it was
like there's a break in the LED, so it's like green, blank, green.
There's only one spot that's like the teeniest bit light, and you like not as green. You have to kind of look for it, but it is there.
Yeah, because the Force FX ones I don't think are supposed to be used for that.
Yeah,
not quite built for.
Boy, these definitely are, man, because we were really cracking them.
As soon as you build in clashing sounds for when it makes contact with something, you know a sword fight's going to be.
You know it's going to. I just don't think they're 100% built for that.
Well, they're survived.
Like, you have the ability to if you want.
Yeah, it definitely survived. So I think, like, besides that, like, I mean, I think I came home with like 8 T-shirts and 3 hoodies or something, and I actually found a zipper hoodie from C5.
Wow.
So I got an embroidered Boba Fett logo, Celebration 5 logo hoodie for $30 in my size, and the thing is great.
Speaking of merch, did you get the things that you wanted?
I got 2 of each.
Nice.
I didn't, and thank God I was looking on Monday morning.
That was the Black Series.
The Obi-Wan and the Maul
panel, or whatever, right?
Yeah, and I actually did something smart that was Thursday morning. The floor opened at 1, and I was at the checkout at about 1:40, and so I hadn't even been in the convention an hour and already dropped $166. But they had.
But talk about that though, because this is the first time they've done the lottery system for the exclusives.
Yeah.
So how did that work out overall?
It worked out great.
Like, so there wasn't really a crush of people because everyone knew when to show up and they knew that there would be one there for them, right?
Later in the day, the line was nothing because here's what happened. I went, my time on my first email was Thursday from 1 to 2. So basically right when the whole thing opened. So I went, and the first thing I did is got in line, and I waited, like I say, like maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And no problem, got my stuff. I didn't realize Monday morning I was going through emails, just cleaning stuff out, and I didn't notice or hadn't noticed that I had actually gotten another winning ticket from the single badge because I entered with both of my badges.
Oh,
so I was, and it said come on Monday between like 2 and 3, and I was like,
oh, you lucky bastard!
Yeah, so I was like, holy crap, I can get another set, and so I walked in.
eBay.
There were literally. eBay. Well, I'm waiting. Believe me, I'm waiting. But I mean, I walked up and I waited for literally 2 people because they had a separate line for people that had won the lottery. There was 2 different lines. There was like the lottery line, and then there was the general I just want to buy crap line.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Lego was not like that.
Well, it's a good thing that I got in on Thursday because
I heard about the Lego thing too with the friggin' the signed
that was a debacle. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. But yeah, so on Thursday they hand you an order form. They're like, please have this filled out before you go up there. And so you're not just standing there going, I want this one.
Yeah.
And I was only going to buy those 2 figures. And then I saw the red and white shock trooper helmet. And I went, no, I don't need a 4th helmet, even though it was only 110 and they go for like 300 online. So, it said, Obi-Wan and Darth Maul limit 1. I was like, okay, cool. But then they had 2 other figures listed as limit 1. I was like, well, does that mean they're rare or something? Now I gotta have them.
Get those.
That's exactly it. So I did that, and then they had the Grievous, and I've always wanted 2 of those because I want to put 1 on my desk at work, and I want to have 1 for my collection. So I ended up buying an
those
Obi-Wan,
ones that say
a
limit
Maul.
1, you're gonna find out are like the Rose Tico ones that are.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know why they're like.
What was the guy from episode 7? That
Constable Zuvio
Yeah.
limit 1.
Yeah,
right,
dude. Well, I mean, I don't think they're that rare. It was Han Solo in Mimban Han Solo, so in like the Mud Trooper gear, and the other one was Mace Windu. And I was like, well, I don't think those are crazy rare, but just in case.
Have you seen them in stores? I swear we don't get anything around here anyway.
I could swear I saw the Han Solo, but Mace Windu I have not. So, I ended up buying.
You know what? They might just be rare enough. Like last year was the Ahsoka Tano one, and I've never seen one of those with my own eyes. That's not on the internet. So,
dude, there were so many figures on the pegs at the dealer booths that I had never seen in stores. I don't know where these things are actually stocked, but nowhere in Cleveland apparently.
Yep.
It's a bunch of exclusives, man, like the Toys R Us exclusive or Walgreens exclusive and stuff.
Speaking of, Celebration exclusive, I did almost order that ugly ass Darth Vader Lego bust off of the Target website just because it was available. But then I was like, the thing is ugly as sin. I really if I can find the thing on clearance at Target one day, I'll bring the thing home. But I'm not rushing to order it.
Yeah, that Lego store line was
let's
way
talk about
worse
that.
than the Hasbro. I never even tried, so that's all you.
So not only did I not win the Lego lottery personally, so I'm kind of salty. Like you, JT, actually
You'd think they'd
did.
have your damn name in the system by now and been like, we got to let this guy up to the front of the line.
Exactly.
But no, JT, you actually did win. But Steve, like you said, the thing is available at Target for Red Card members. So I'm like, why bother? And even on the selfish end, I looked on eBay and what are these things going for? They were like $20 over the price at the convention. I'm like, there's no point. So not only was that ridiculous, they had an exclusive that wasn't, but then they did the Lego Star Wars panel. And they announced, as expected, the next UCS item.
Yep.
Great. So we got our Tantive 4 coming.
And I'm like, wow, this thing looks amazing. I'm like, this is cool. I might have to buy one of those. And then you find out that there was a handful available at Celebration.
Which they finally did. I've griped about that before. I'm like, if you're going to have a Star Wars convention 2 weeks before you're going to drop a set and you're going to showcase the set at the convention, make it available. Make that be the early access. Cool. They only had 250 available for the entire convention.
Yeah.
That works out to what, 60 and change per day?
Uh-huh.
What the hell? That is asinine. And of course, so the thing goes for $200 in the store, so you got to wait through that stupid long line to find out if there's any left, which is the same problem that the exclusives have always had. But then, of course, the first people to get it are the other vendors who are in on the show floor early that day, and it immediately goes up in their booth for twice the price or triple. Yeah, there were people selling that thing for $600 on the show floor.
We saw one guy that had on the left corner of his booth, he had one for $375, and on the right corner he had one for $450. And we're like, what the F is the difference?
Could you physically reach the box?
Yeah.
Or you should have just slapped the damn thing on the floor.
Right.
And just dented the corner of the box and went, it's worth $175, asshat.
Yeah, so I don't know why people were tripping all over themselves. This thing's going to be in stores in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal. That's why I didn't bother. I was like, I could wait in the line to find out it's already gone, or I could just wait 2 weeks and know that there's going to be one there for me anyway. So what's the point?
What I couldn't believe
and their website is actually, off topic. The Lego website's really good. You could jump on that thing immediately the day that it goes on sale. You don't even have to go out to the damn store and you'll get one ASAP.
Yeah.
Because the 2 weeks ago or whatever, the big thing was the Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie thing.
Yeah.
It disappeared off the store shelves in 7 minutes or something like that. I went on the Lego website an hour and a half after launch because I forgot about it. Was able to just check out one immediately. Got it 2-day shipping for free.
Of course.
I'm just whatever. Here you go.
Yeah, so at least last time in 2017 when they revealed the Snowspeeder, they had it on the show floor. Here, you can look at it built, and this is what it is. They didn't even do that this time. So you could see the box through the window of the Lego store while you were waiting in line to get in to find out they didn't have any left. But that was it.
You just got people chuckling. They had the Lepin version. I built this 7 years ago.
All right.
Go screw you guys.
Right.
Dude, at the rate they're coming out with those things, pretty soon it is going to come out before the official release.
Yeah.
But so Lego did not do their homework. Interestingly enough, JT, about the Hasbro exclusives, we were actually joking about this on the last show about how, with how disorganized it all is, that you're going to get notifications long after the fact.
Yeah.
Actually true. Because you had already purchased your Friday exclusive at Hasbro.
Yeah,
and
Thursday,
it wasn't until later that day on Friday that I finally got my bad news email telling me that I didn't win. I'm like, well, no.
Thanks for the information, guys.
Yeah. Convention is 2 days old, and now you're telling me I didn't get one.
See, I didn't get the, oh, sorry, you didn't get an exclusive. I never got that. I just got the ones when I won.
Yeah, so you just got ones that said you get good things.
Yeah, I got lucky, man. I got lucky. So moving on to other panels, I went to the, Steph and I went to the Anthony Daniels panel, and it was really, really fun because he got Warwick Davis involved, and it was kind of half of it was kind of like a bit. So that was really cool.
Those two are really fun together. They did that a little bit more at the episode 1 panel.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Warwick Davis. If you watch other panels with other hosts, I mean, Warwick Davis is an awesome host. So that was a lot of fun. Trying to think what else we did. Oh, we did the episode 1 panel. AJ and I got into the episode 1 panel on Monday. That was when we rushed to because the night before.
Other than the episode 9,
we literally ran to that one.
Yeah, we did run to that one.
Other than episode 9, that was probably like the big thing for the whole celebration, wasn't it?
Not really. No, I think the Mandalorian panel was the next biggest.
Yeah,
thing.
the Mandalorian
I would have thought
panel.
like the anniversary for episode 1 would have been like the next big thing for them.
No, the Mandalorian people were going nuts for it.
You know, as fun as the 20th anniversary panel was for episode 1, it wasn't like, you could tell it wasn't a marquee event because there wasn't any big name who showed up for it.
Yeah, we were waiting because what they would do is they would show there were a lot of bad guys from the dark side, and then they showed this clip of a bunch of clips from the movie that all had like Darth Maul and Palpatine in it. So you're like, oh cool, Ray Park and Ian McDiarmid or whatever.
And we knew that those two were already there at the convention.
Yeah,
so no surprise.
But I mean, there's not really another bad guy they're going to have come out. So when they started showing, and then there's heroes from the light side, they started showing a bunch of clips with Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. We were like, oh crap, here it comes. And then it went to like C-3PO and Jar Jar Binks, and we're like, they're gonna have all 4? No, it was just C-3PO and Jar Jar Binks, which it was awesome to see Ahmed Best because he got a huge ovation, just like Kelly Marie Tran got a giant ovation at the episode 9 panel, which was really cool. But they kind of teased us with how they had set the other one up to where we thought it was going to be Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson, but it wasn't.
How bad were you hoping for a drunken Jake Lloyd appearance during the panel?
He comes and just ruins the whole thing. But I mean, it was really cool because I mean, some of the stuff they talked about was great, and then George Lucas had a personal message for everybody there, which was cool. But even that was kind of a little bit because we at random ran into Jimmy Mack and Jason Swank from Rebel Force Radio the day before, and Jimmy Mack was telling us that George Lucas lived within 3 minutes of the convention center. Mm-hmm. So all you do is literally walk down the damn street and you can show up at the panel. But we got a pre-recorded message. I was like, damn, I was really hoping he would be here.
Yeah. So it was entertaining, but not a lot of surprises there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was cool to celebrate it. It was awesome to be in a room with a whole bunch of fans that, really, really liked the movie. And I was so far up, there weren't a lot of lightsabers. So if you watch the panel, I can actually see my own lightsaber waving around for the good parts. So there you go. I'm famous.
Maybe that's why people bring them to those things.
They just want to be seen.
Look, I can see myself up there.
So that was really, really cool. There's something I'm forgetting. The Mandalorian panel was awesome.
The Mandalorian panel was awesome, but it's a head scratcher. It was the only one to black out footage from the stream.
That was really we were watching the stream, and then when they would show some footage, I
did hear that there was, I don't know if they did it to you guys or not, but I did read rumors that they were starting to tell people that they were going to have to turn their phones off and bag them or something like that.
Well,
into the Mandalorian panel.
What was funny is after the first blackout, Jon Favreau comes back on when the stream comes back up, and he says, I was supposed to tell you guys not to film that. And he forgot to say it before. So the footage is leaked out there, and there's like the one part that's like the first 5 minutes or something of an episode, and then there's the other thing that's a trailer, but it's actually like a behind the scenes. But that show just looks awesome. I cannot wait for that show. So that was
well worth your $70 for the full year, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
19 cents a day. I'm sold on that thing.
I am in. So that was cool. I'm forgetting something big, and I don't remember. I just thought about it when we were talking about something else.
Speaking of the Mandalorian and Disney Plus and stuff, how about the fact that we were already talking about the Cassian show, but now that they officially announced that K2 is going to be like the main secondary character the whole time, I think that almost sells that whole thing.
Oh, heck yeah.
Absolutely.
I would have watched it already without him.
For somebody like me that was already crapping on that thing because I was just not a fan of Cassie, and I'm like, 30, 60-minute long episodes with K2. I'm like, all right, you're probably going to sell me on this thing now.
Exactly. Now all they need is a Cheered Imwe and Baze Malbus show, and I am a convert for life.
Yep.
So
The wacky adventures where he just bumps blindly into things the entire time.
The wacky adventures of Chirrut So yeah, Sunday night was a hell of a night. That was the infamous bottle of rum night. AJ, congratulations on that.
The less said about that, the better.
Yeah. So
well, you were going to bring up Galaxy's Edge. Is that even worth the?
No, we could. I rewatched it, but there's just a funny story about Sunday night in the lobby. But yeah, the Galaxy's Edge panel was a lot cooler than I thought it would be, because I figured we knew everything. No, we did not know everything. And I mean,
they debuted Coke bottles.
That you called that, but at least it does look different.
Yeah,
I mean, at least it does look different.
It's cute enough that if you're going to be in Galaxy's Edge, you're like, I'll buy a damn Sprite. All right.
As someone who's been to Harry Potter and Universal, though, that's how you do it right.
Right. Yeah.
You're never going to buy a butterbeer or a pumpkin juice anywhere else on the planet. So why the heck are we getting Coke in Aurebesh?
Because what are you going to get? Blue milk and that's it? Name me another famous Star Wars beverage.
They said they were going to invent Star Wars foods and beverages.
But they did.
It's actually
they invented packaging for Coke.
No. Wait a minute.
I love Disney, but this is like what they normally would have done would have been Galaxy's Edge with the damn Starbucks sitting in the middle of it. So at least they're giving you the bottles.
Wait a minute. See,
something.
That's what they didn't say. The drink menus and the food menus at the restaurants and bars are all Star Wars stuff. It's not like, here's a hamburger, here's a hot dog. It's like, that's why they were talking about broiled Ronto or something. I mean, the weird thing is it's not like normal food items. It's like foofy that I wouldn't eat.
Yeah, but they did that for Pandora already.
Yeah, so it's actually, so they're not actually, the Coke is the one thing. It's in Aurebesh, but they have all these different drinks like with special ice cubes and stuff, and like it's called this, that, and the other. So they didn't talk about that during the panel, but that was in like a 77-point article that I read. Yeah, and so that's why, I mean, a lot of the stuff they talked about I knew about, but there was a bunch that I actually did not. And like I say, at least the Coke thing, I mean, you almost kind of have to do that because, again, name me another Star Wars beverage. You can't. And besides that, people, if they're thirsty and you're like, well, try this, the monkey lizard, like the whatever Salacious Crumb is, try some Kawaki and monkey lizard piss. Like people are no, it's just lemonade. Like, but people aren't going to try that. They're gonna be like, look, I want a lemonade.
Let me get that Dasani over there.
Exactly. So I mean, they almost had to do that, but I mean, the stuff that they're talking about that's going on in that place is just
it's
unbelievable,
it's crazy. And then like AJ shared the thing with us before we started recording night about the lightsaber hilts that you're going to be able to build, and it's just, they look so good.
Yeah, I'm with you guys though. Those things, if they're not several $100,
the picture of the box opened up with the two Ahsoka blade or hilts in there. I'm just like, oh god, I want that.
Right. What got me was when they did the fly through with the John Williams music. Like, it was recently filmed. And I was just like, I mean, I teared up. I was like, oh my God, is that awesome?
It's like a lot of things Disney doesn't catch me by surprise on. And we know so much about Galaxy's Edge. But at the same point that you guys are talking about the feeling at Celebration, when you actually get a chance to walk through Galaxy's Edge and stand in front of the Falcon, like that feeling is going to be like beyond anything that you can really explain.
Yeah.
Now, how is that actually going to go? Is this counted as another park? Or is it just an attraction inside of one of the parks? Just
inside Disneyland or Disney Hollywood Studios if you're going to be down in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're just going to walk through, if you're going to California this summer, you're just going to walk down Main Street. You're going to kind of walk through, I think, Adventureland or something a little bit. And then you're just going to go through a little tunnel, and then you're going to be in the world of Star Wars. So it's just kind of there.
I just can't believe how cool it looks. I mean, and they talked about, every single detail, we worried about it, but that really sounds like they did.
And they're so smart opening it in phases too. It's just like when we talk about the DVD release or the Blu-ray releases, when you're like, oh, well, here's the one that just came out this week, and then 2 weeks later, there's a special one. And you have to go out and get both of them, right?
Yeah,
so you
exactly.
can see everything. So they're going to get all your money to go in there and see the thing originally, and then they're going to go, hey, second wave is open. Everybody come on back again.
Yep. So our Sunday night story, we decided that, we just wanted to have a nice mellow evening, which of course turned into the craziest evening.
You decided you wanted a mellow evening.
Well, yeah. AJ.
I decided otherwise.
AJ and his friend Captain Morgan had other ideas, but so we said, well, let's see what happens if we go downstairs and we, let's just open up the board and play Trivial Pursuit and see if somebody will join us. So we did. We had what was her name, Cal, I think, or something.
Yep.
Yeah. So this really nice girl, Cal, she's like. She walked past and she's looking at the board. I was like, you look pretty interested in this. Like, do you want to play? She goes, I kind of do. I was like, all right. So we reset the board. And AJ and I realized pretty quickly that before she had sat down, that the Black Series version of Star Wars Trivia Pursuit is not the really difficult one, because I rolled my first turn and I got 4 or 5 cheeses before I finally missed a question. And then
So you mean this is easier than the one I played with you guys like a decade ago that I couldn't answer a single damn thing?
Okay. Yes. Wow. Because then AJ gets his turn and he got all 6 and was going for the win on one turn. So
this girl just flips the board over. And
right. Yeah, really. Well, no, we started over because we didn't want to, So, she sits down, we're playing a game, whatever, and she was, she kind of knew her stuff, but she was just having fun.
You guys are ringers.
Yeah, well, basically it was. But the funny part was this other guy walks over and he's kind of like eyeballing the board. And we're like, hey, man, you want to jump in? We can start. Because yeah. He's like, but I'm just telling you right now, like, don't let me get a turn because I'm going to run that board. And we're like, oh, it's tough talk. So he sits down and we go through a couple turns. And
does this remind you of another story from earlier in the show, Steve?
Sounds like the guy that missed the question at the episode 9 or whatever panel.
I should have asked him where he was from, because he promptly gets up there after running his mouth. He gets one question right and then yaks the second one. We're like, and so of course we're like, what's that about running the board there, buddy? What's that? So we start playing and he proceeded to miss more than any of the rest of us after running his mouth. I was like, who is this guy? Like, he was not, maybe he was drinking a bunch before, but it was not a good performance by him. So that was pretty interesting. And then after that, I kind of got busted by hotel security, but because so I had
it wouldn't be a celebration story without bumping into security at some point.
Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, so I had like a little bottle of Tito's, okay, and I was just like mixing it with some Gatorade, and it was out on the table. Well, this is Sunday night, so everybody had been doing this like down in the lobby with open bottles of booze, obviously out on the tables like the previous 4 nights.
Right.
So no big deal. Well, this guy walks over and he's like, yeah, you can't have that down here. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you can't, you got to get rid of that. Or I got to kick you out. I was like, what? So I was like, all right. So I had, enough Tito's left and more than enough Gatorade out of one of my bottles
so that I'm going to mix it, right?
I was like, all right, I'll leave. So I walk, hit the elevator button, put my fat ass in the elevator, hit the floor 2 button. And while it's going up one floor, I dumped the Tito's into the Gatorade, then walked out, threw the bottle into trash and took the step
back downstairs.
Yep, went right around the escalator, went back down and continued to play.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting there cool as a cucumber with my blender bottle that is probably 50% rum.
Yeah.
I've actually got the 2-liter and the bottle of Captain right there at my feet in a bag. And I've just got the cup with ice on the thing. And he says nothing to me whatsoever.
Yeah. Yep. So that was kind of strange. And so as I was walking out, I saw people with their bottles. I was like, dude, hide that. They're coming around and busting people.
Dude, and that was doubly strange because 2 nights prior, I had already gotten sick of paying bar prices because a hotel bar is like the worst way to drink.
Yeah.
So I had actually shown up. It was Saturday night, actually. Saturday night, I rolled back to the hotel bar. I had dinner with my girlfriend, and I brought a 6-pack back with me and another 6-pack for JT as well.
Yeah.
And just actually walked into the hotel bar with it and just put it at my feet and got a pint glass. So I was pouring my own beers. And dude saw me. He completely saw me and just rolled his eyes and looked the other way. Yep. So I don't know why they were being cool all weekend, and then Sunday it's like lockdown.
Yeah, we get Mr. Militant over there. It's like, whatever, dude. I can circumvent this system. It ain't my first rodeo. So that was pretty cool. And then from there, it becomes a little blurry, but it does involve another hotel, and me lucky that I didn't get smashed by a bodybuilder. So
we fell in with a bad crowd,
yeah,
it was a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
as hammered as we were, they're like, all right, now we're going out clubbing. It's 4. You guys coming with? And we're like, no, it's getting kind of late. And then after that, something happened because AJ injured himself, and neither of us remembers how he did it. But the next day he was like, dude, my hip, and it keeps getting worse and worse. I'm like, I think you fell. I think you ran into something. Like,
well, you almost concussed yourself. Don't forget that story.
Oh, was this doing the cartwheels in the hallway?
Yes.
Yeah, there's also
video.
Yeah, I don't know how to do a cartwheel, and I'm fat and apparently unathletic now. So basically,
now,
yeah, no, I used to be athletic when I was skinny, but apparently, shut up, dude. You knew me when I was skinny. Damn you! You can't say that. But
literally half a lifetime ago.
Yeah. So. I mean, it was basically a tumble that ended up with me like cracking my head into the wall. It just sounds like an empty coconut like bouncing off the wall. I mean, it was horrible. But then AJ proceeds to do the same damn thing after me. His just looked a little better.
I didn't hit my head on the wall.
The hell you didn't. It's on video.
It didn't sound like yours.
Actually, yours might have been even louder. Mine just looked funny because it was a fat guy doing it.
I just kind of crumpled.
Yeah.
You actually fell sideways.
Well, yeah, because I like yours looked a little better. Mine was just a damn disaster. And so it was horrific. And of course, it started out with my wife just nailing a cartwheel. She'll be 45 years old, and she just bloop right down the hallway cartwheel, and then there's me like wham, like. So
well, now that you're telling the stories, I believe these need to go on social media.
Oh, they're awesome. They're awesome. It's just ridiculous, but yeah. So I mean, we basically hung out and met a lot of people. We went to the podcaster hangout. And that was cool. We met some really, really cool people. I felt like an ass because AJ wasn't there, and I'm meeting all these podcasts, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we follow you," and I'm like, "Yeah, I follow you too." And they hand you this like handful of like stickers and pins and magnets, and I'm like, "Yeah, I got nothing."
Yeah.
So I realized like
lesson learned.
We're gonna have to pony up for swag next time. Because
and I did tweet it too. I was like, part of that was kind of my fault because I knew when we recorded last time, I see this stack of stickers that's on the table all the time, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta remember to give those to the guys before they leave tonight. Totally forgot about it.
People are really into pins. Like that was the big deal. Was like pin collecting, and I never knew that before. But it was a great time because God, all the shows we like, Blast Doors and God, who I'm trying to think. I'd have to go through the list, but there are
during
so
the course
many.
of that week, we probably got followed by like 24 more podcasts on our Twitter page.
The Cantina cast was handing out T-shirts, so that made me feel real cheap. I was like, dude, are you sure? Like I got nothing. Like no, go ahead. So I was like, all right, but I mean, every one of them was really cool.
This is why we need a Patreon. I'm telling you. If we actually had money coming in, we could spend it on things.
I don't think these people all have that much money coming in. They probably just bought it to give out. I mean, that's what people do. But they were all really, really cool people.
Should have just bought people shots.
Yeah, that would have covered the price of swag. Believe me. What was it like? I was drinking Tito's on the rocks, and it was like $11.50 or something.
Oof.
Yeah, it was up there. So drinking, and I found out the hard way because the one night that we were drinking in the lobby, somebody had we were just talking, and somebody sat down and were BSing with us, and during the lightsaber battle, we had a bottle of Johnny Red that our buddy Mark brought, and we had about a third of it or a quarter of it left, and Mark knocked it off the table and shattered on the ground. So we're out of booze. We're like, all right, well, we're still going. Well, they had like flask size bottles of, like they had Maker's Mark and things like that. So they had a, little flask size, right? Like at the store, like $7, maybe $10.
Right.
So I'm BSing with somebody in line. I grabbed a little pint sized thing of Woodford we could sip off of because this other girl had sat down and brought Woodford and it was almost gone. So I'm like, all right, I'll replenish the stock, join the party. So I'm not even thinking. I just hand the Woodford over, hand the credit card to the guys, like swipe. I'm like, I swipe, not even looking, did it. Okay, nice talk to you. See you later. Blah, blah, blah. I go walking back. I look down at the receipt, $47. I was like, holy God. I couldn't even believe it. It was just staggering to me.
Dude, that's probably what, like a 24 bottle if you
Dude,
dollars a bottle
literally
if you
you
went
get
to the
like
liquor store right now.
You could get like a bottle and a half.
Dude, by the last
Full-size
day,
bottle.
we were so weary of spending money. Like, I left the convention to eat lunch because they wanted $10.50 for a turkey sandwich. I went across and spent $3.50 at Subway.
Yeah.
I marched a mile down the road just to not have to spend that money.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we were so just convention poor at that point. It was crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
So, but
Well, we do. If the after hours stories sound like fun, though, one thing we did do that was more on point than pretty much the back half of this entire conversation. Do you remember recording an episode that we actually put out live on Spreaker?
yes,
Yes. So for those of you who don't follow our Spreaker page, we do actually have a bonus episode in the often used Nerf Herder After Hours channel of our Spreaker page, giving our thoughts on the episode 9 trailer. So that's something that we really got to dig into on an actual show. But, first reaction, we got that up on that. Well, I guess it would have been Friday night, huh?
yeah, and it was there's obviously bar noise and stuff, and there's a little bit of cursing we didn't cut out because it's just raw.
That's my little tiny celebration story from home here, is that I just happened to be up playing video games that entire time. And I knew you guys were getting ready to go live, and I was down here frantic on these two computers trying to figure out how the hell I could try to get Skype in so I could join that conversation somehow, and I was just never able to figure it out. So I just never even texted you guys. But I was down here for like 25 minutes before, and I'm checking my phone. You guys are like, we're going live now, and I'm like, no. This has got to work somehow, and I'm trying to record things and not record this voice and that, and I'm just like, I'm going to bed. So I tried. I really tried.
Right? No, that was a lot of fun because we got our buddy Mark in on that. So we got his opinion in there, and overall, Celebration was awesome. It was just a great experience, and it was weird because by halfway through Monday, we're all kind of looking at each other like, I'm kind of Star Warsed out. And then by Tuesday, we're like, I want to watch episode 1.
Yeah.
Like, it gets you, man, when you're in a world of Star Wars that long. And it was, and really the only bummer was when they announced the next one is next year in Anaheim. I'm like, man, a year.
I was going to ask you guys about how you felt about them. And it seems like I'm going to assume this is going forward now, too, that they're just going to try to milk this thing annually instead of...
I don't see how, because you would have to assume that next year is because they're going to announce the new movies, and it's the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. But if they're just announcing what the new movies are about next year, I would assume they're not coming out for another 2 years. So like 2022. So they'll probably do the next one in 2022 as like a, hey, lead up to this new Star Wars movie thing. So
I mean, yeah, I guess we won't really know until the end of Anaheim next year, but
yeah, I hope they don't do it annually because I don't want to miss a celebration. But I mean, I don't know if I can do it. I mean, it's given all the time off and the money involved, and I mean, it's
because it does sound very Disney to turn this thing into an annual event because they do really love their money. So
they make money off it.
So it would not surprise me if they're just like, no, we're just going to do these every year. I don't care if there's movies coming out because people are going to show up regardless. So
yeah,
just do it.
There's already people saying, I'm there for sure. But I've also heard a lot of people saying, well, I can't do this 2 years in a row. And I'm on the fence. AJ, you said you're probably out.
It's just hard to justify. Like you said, it's too soon. And it's too expensive.
I didn't even go to this one, and I'm already like, damn, I'd love to go to Anaheim because I got people out there from my Disney things and stuff that I'd love to go hang out with. But I'm just like, dude, there's no damn way I'd be able to make that thing work. If I knew a year ago that 2020 was going to be Anaheim, I might be able to think about doing it. But springing it on you like that, I'm just like, dude, there's no way. There's no chance.
That's what I said.
Especially a lot of people, they take that entire year to do their costumes and dioramas and all kinds of stuff that the fans put into the event. That puts their timetable to an absolute minimum.
Yeah. And I mean, how many people did we talk to from the 501st that, I mean, they're bringing their costumes, but some people that aren't members of one of the guilds, they're like, well, I'm not doing that. Like, just the cost to get it on a plane and everything is just very prohibitive.
I learned my lesson back in 2015 with that one. And I was talking to, shout out to my buddy Gary, who we also met, 501st, and TK64211. Same thing. He's like, yeah, I'll go out there, but I'm not going to bring my kit.
Yeah.
It's too expensive, and they're going to break it in transit. And he's absolutely right. I can vouch for that one.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's bad enough in Anaheim just because that was the most expensive celebration travel-wise that we've had. But to have it 1 year after this one is just like, man, that's rough. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, it was an awesome experience. And, you know, we closed the whole thing after the closing ceremony. We were walking back to our hotel, and we just randomly ran into David Collins. So we got a picture with him. So that was really cool. And, like I said, we met the guys from, you know, Rebel Force Radio. They were really nice. We almost had to give Jason Swank a ride home because he was flying out on Monday, or no, Sunday, and the snow, all the flights out of Chicago were canceled, and he was like, when are you guys leaving? And we said Tuesday. He goes, oh, because if you're leaving tomorrow, I might actually ask you for a ride. And I was like, how awesome of a story would that be?
Right.
Like, we had to drive Jason Swank back to Ohio with us.
You guys should have just did it, dude, and tried to talk your way into the podcast network.
Right. That would have been hilarious. But yeah, so I mean, all these random things happened, and one of our buddies, James, we've talked about him before, the collector guy, he got a selfie with Jon Favreau, just ran into Jon Favreau on the floor. So, I mean, that happened, and, you know, all these random things just, you know, go down at Celebration, and it was awesome. And, you know, and as usual, I come home thinking, damn it, I missed this panel, and I didn't get into Vader Immortal, and I really wanted to do the fan confessional at Galaxy's Edge for that exhibit because it goes into the holocron. And I went over.
I saw that when they were streaming the thing. I was like, I wonder if the guys got into the that thing or not.
That's another. The line was so long
because you know the stream made it look like that entire row of those things was completely empty and that you could just walk right up to them.
No,
so.
And unless I missed something, that exhibit was not that big. It was really just like a 2 or 3 hour long line to sit in one of the cars for Rise of the Resistance to get your picture taken. And I was like, why am I doing that? And then I was like, oh, I'll do the fan thing. But then the line just stayed long. So I went like at the end of the day on Sunday at like 4:30 or something like that, or Monday, excuse me, the last day. And they were already closed. They had just closed. I was like, damn. So I missed out on it. But so, I mean, that's, you know, I these things going forward, like I think I want to do more panels.
We could fill a whole show with things we didn't get to at this celebration. Actually.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, that's every celebration, though. I mean, it's like
it's just impossible to see everything that you want to.
Yeah,
like you were talking about on the last show that you guys are talking to John about it. That was just like, oh well, I want to see this, but it overlaps another one I want to see. It's like impossible to do everything you want to.
Well, I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but I actually contacted Reed Pop about that today, and I pitched him my idea that we were discussing on the ride back there, JT, which is a digital ticket. Like, how cool would it be if they would film all the panels and you could buy a ticket that had special access just for people who either couldn't attend or people who could, but you got to pick and choose. So that'd be great. You know, paying customers only. You can still get your free YouTube channel coverage from Star Wars, but if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, give us like some sort of video access that we can relive all the stuff that we weren't able to get to.
Yeah, because I mean the YouTube page and the stream, all that only covers X amount. You know, some of those crazy like third-party panels down there that you probably really want to see, they're not going to cover that on the YouTube channel. So you're forced to miss out on that unless you're sitting in the theater. So.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, that's the one complaint that I saw from people that I just really don't agree with. People that didn't go to Celebration were complaining online that it was bull crap, that they didn't get to see everything that we were seeing, and the blacked out footage. And it's like, dude, come on. Like, you know, there has to be something for those of us that spent all the money to go.
There's a reason. Yeah, absolutely. You can't get the freebies that everybody else is getting that showed up at the event.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they do those things. It's a special exclusive thing for people that make the trip, you know, that spend the money on the plane. I mean, you know, like I said earlier, I sat next to people from Spain and Germany. How fair is it that they have to fly halfway across the globe to see the same thing that you can see sitting on your ass at home spending zilch? That just isn't fair. Because then it, you know, oh, well, that's not fair to me. Well, then it's really unfair to us because we're out thousands of dollars to see the same thing we could have seen by not even going.
Yeah. I could spend thousands of dollars to go see it, or I could spend $39.99 on my internet access at home and get the same thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So that point I disagree with, but
yeah, that's kind of stupid that anybody would try to argue that.
Yeah, but no, I mean, shout out to all the great podcasts that we met and all the fun people that we met. I ran into some old friends of mine from Ohio that I hadn't seen in years, which was really cool. I ran into people that I met at previous celebrations and we reconnected. It's just the social aspect of it is just absolutely awesome. And I mean, this was yet another example of why everything is so great, man. The Star Wars fandom is fantastic. I just wish people would think of this and bring it home with them.
Yeah.
Because you're already seeing social media kind of starting to slide back into that. And it's
because everybody's at the convenience of hiding behind their computer screens again instead of having to be face to face.
Well, I mean, it's a perfect thing. Like I talked to so many people this week just in lines, like who, the main conversation that I had was, people that didn't like The Last Jedi. We just, excuse me, just sat there talking about it. It wasn't sniping back and forth. It was just, oh yeah, well, I could see that. Like, well, here's what I thought about this, and here's what I thought about that. But online, it doesn't happen like that almost ever.
No,
and it sucks. I wish it would, because it's, but the cool thing is you see so many people saying like, man, that being at Celebration, you got to go, because talk about a shot in the arm for the fandom. Like it totally refreshes you and makes you believe in the Star Wars fandom again, and it's true.
The Celebration highlight video that they put together for the closing ceremony every time really does capture the vibe pretty well. Like,
yeah, it does.
I don't know about you, JT, but every time I see that, it's mainly nothing I've actually been witness to, and it still chokes me up every time.
Yep. Yeah, me too. I mean, thankfully this one I was in a couple of the panels. I mean, for as much as I missed, I actually saw more panels at this one than I ever have at any of the previous ones. So, yeah, so that was our trip to Chicago. So, we, hopefully everybody hasn't fallen asleep by now, but yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to go to a Celebration, you have to do it. I mean, I've said it a million times, but you really have to experience it to really understand it, because you truly are living in a world of Star Wars for like a week, and it's like nothing you'll ever experience, and it's just such a great reminder of why Star Wars is awesome and why the fans are even better. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there you go. So thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. We appreciate you guys. As usual, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. You can get your official Nerf Herder Council swag at shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. Don't forget, you can check out Galactic Empire. They have 2 albums out on Rise Records. Go check those out. They are awesome Star Wars listening. You can find us all kinds of different podcast apps, such as Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, most Android podcast apps, Pocket Casts, CastBox, Spotify. All of our episodes are available on YouTube. The website is nerfherdercouncil.com. You can find us on Facebook, obviously. Just look us up there. Twitter is at NHC Podcast, and you can email us directly, which is nerfherdercouncil@gmail.com. So once again, I'm your host, JT at Dogpound Jedi. He's AJ
at Coughing All Episode.
And he's Steve
at JSteve1005.
And we will catch you next time.
Bucket of bolts is never gonna get us past that blockade.
This bucket's got a few surprises left in her. Plus, me and Chewie are on it. Ain't that right, Chewie?
Hell yeah, you my Nerf herder.
You my Nerf herder.
Damn it.
I should leave that part.
Yeah, right.